This is Andreas from Cabal, and you're watching Heavy New York.
What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Kingsland in Brooklyn, and we are here with Andreas of Cabal. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Welcome to the U.S., first U.S. tour, right?
Yes, and super exciting.
Yeah, it'll definitely be awesome. But your newest album is Drag Me Down, which is scheduled to come out April 3rd, right? What I'm curious is you released that collaboration you did with Matt of Trivium, which is awesome. Could that maybe serve as like a clear representation of like what the entirety of the new Cabal album is going to sound like?
Actually not, because the thing is with this album is like this is the album where we actually tried to do new stuff. So that song is kind of unique, like all of the other songs will be, which you will find out when we start releasing the other singles. That's also, we released one from it in, I think it was like the 1st of November or at the end of October, called Tongues, which is quite different. So that's the thing with Drag Me Down, is like we try to do new stuff on every song and like experiment a bit more, because like we love Mark of Rot, but we feel like it might have been like the same 2 or 3 songs for like an entire album.
Well, you led me to my next question. So this isn't just a continuation of Mark of Rot. This is more or less just like a new star for Cabal.
Yeah, because like the thing is that we used to be kind of like a loosely based concept-based band. We like where we write this about this death cult and stuff that started on the EP, and we continued that on the on the Mark of Rot album. But for the new one, we kind of wanted to like do something new, because we made 15 songs about that stuff. And now we want to try out some new stuff and just experiment. It gets kind of boring writing the same song over and over again, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I find unique is you mentioned you like to experiment more with your sound. Do you like have a preconceived idea of how you want it to sound, or does it kind of like happen by accident in a way?
I think we have we have an idea of stuff we want to try out, and then we kind of try it out and see if it works. And then if it works, we go with it. Like.
As a vocalist, do you need to hear music before you come up with lyrics, or can a concept like help determine the outcome of the music itself?
I think like usually what I'll do is like I'm always on my phone, so I'll be in the notepad and just writing stuff down, and then I have like, okay, this is loosely like a song, like this could be a song about this thing, and we have Chris, our guitarist, who's a producer, and he writes and produces everything. So he'll send me the songs. I'm like, oh, this matches this, like this has this kind of vibe, and I wrote a song that kind of fits into that. So that's kind of like the process we do.
Is it? Do you like to leave it open to interpretation, or do you try to maybe inform the listener on the concept that you sing about?
I think there's always like clear concept stuff I want to say with the songs, but I'm like usually not very vocal about it, because I like it. Like some of the songs, like you can interpret it in a lot of ways, and I kind of like that you can get what you feel like out of the song. Like it doesn't have to be what I intended to be, which I think that's pretty cool, that somebody could get something else out than what I actually thought of while writing it.
So if like a listener were to come up to you and ask you like what the song means, would you be like it's kind of your own to interpret, or are you like not hesitant on telling them what it means?
No, if you want to know my thoughts, or the way I felt when writing this, I'm just gonna tell you, like. But I think it's kind of cool to hear like some people thought, like, because of the name and the cult stuff we did, that we were kind of like part of the Cabal, like the Illuminati and that stuff, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a bum.
That's awesome. Now, when it comes to getting inspired to write, do you like have to put yourself in a certain element in order for inspiration to come, or do you sometimes just think of an idea out of nowhere?
Usually it happens when I go through shit, because it's heavy music, it's dark, and like I write like the best lyrics for Cabal when like my life isn't going the best, like in the right direction. Like that's when I feel the need to like put the pen to the paper and just like write it all out.
Yeah. So you sometimes look for trouble too?
Not intentionally, but I think I might like subconsciously might seek it out sometimes. Like, yeah, it's not.
Now, obviously, this is going to be the first time anybody in North America sees Cabal live tonight. Is there a similar energy that you channel into your live presence as you do when you're songwriting, or is it a completely separate art altogether?
No, I feel like that's just like when it comes to it's like, all right, when you really get to feel what it's about, like, kind of like putting the energy that was put into writing it. It's like it's where it gets unleashed fully, or what, like. And sorry for the broken English.
It's all good.
Yeah. So I think that's like where you get to experience the full spectrum of the songs is live. Like,
Okay. Do you execute it exactly how people are hearing it on the album, or do you maybe like change things up a bit?
sometimes we change things up a little bit, but mostly it's kind of like what you'll hear on the album. Like I love if people know the lyrics, they're gonna get the microphone. So that's like something that might happen.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, you're doing this tour right now with Ingested and Last 10 Seconds of Life. It's a very, very heavy tour. But again, you just collaborated with Matt of Trivium, and you said you're experimenting a little bit more with your sound. Do you think that maybe this is gonna maybe appeal to multiple audiences?
I hope so. I think the idea, like, we love making heavy music, obviously, and the new record is like we have some of the heaviest stuff we ever done on there, but we also have like some of the most melodic stuff we've ever done. It's like the song with Matt Heafy is like the first time we actually have the synth lead, which we never had before. So I don't think it's like the idea is to purposely like try to reach more people, but like I think it will because we're experimenting more. So like even though you might not be into like super heavy stuff, there'll be something you'll like on the new album.
Awesome. And another question I want to ask you is, this is the most difficult question of the interview.
Yeah.
How do you know when a song is done?
It's a really hard question. When I don't want to work on it anymore, I know. I think it might actually be easier to answer than that because like our process is like usually I'll write the lyrics. We have Chris who will write all the instrumentals, and then we all like work on them together. Like me and him will bring like these two parts to like the rest of the guys. And the cool part is like Chris has his own studio and he's like full-time producer. So we'll go there, we'll record everything, listen to it a lot, and then like we'll go through, okay, this actually doesn't work like in reality like the way that we thought it would. And then we'll like change it and we'll go through that a few times, and that's like when everybody is satisfied, that's how we know a song is finished. Like
Very good. Very concrete. But what you said you write like the lyrics first. You ever worry you're gonna write like the best lyrics and then get like the music and see how it goes like one syllable over the whole arrangement and won't fit?
yeah, but that's the cool part about like writing to the music. You just like squeeze in a pause or put in like some ad libs like ugh, and shit like and it'll fit. And there's like these small words that you can put in and like remove and it'll still make sense. So it's like a bit of like a puzzle after like when I finish the lyrics. I've sometimes had like the trouble where like I feel like this sentence is some of the best stuff I've written, but I can't make it fit. So like I'll just move stuff around until it fits.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know you're flexible. Like that sounds terrifying.
It can be, but I feel like our process has been like it feels very safe because we record everything ourselves and like Chris mixes and masters everything. We even like make our own videos and stuff. It's like some of my best friends. I'm in this like creative collective that makes movies called Mindspark Films with some of my childhood friends, and we make like our music videos. So we do almost everything ourselves, and it just makes us feel like very comfortable. We only work with people that we like really know, and like we have a lot of creative it's called like ownership over every aspect of the band, which is
That's very impressive. I mean, do you think that maybe helps make the music more organic because it's coming from you? Like you mentioned, your guitar player is your producer, and so I'd imagine, is there maybe ever at all outside input that could help influence Cabal?
yeah, of course. We actually have this thing where we have like a lot of friends who are in cool bands as well, and like whose opinions we value, where we'll actually like send them songs and like listen to their feedback. But some of the time we're also like really bad at like sending it to them, and if they say something we don't like, it's like, no, you're not right.
Gotta admire the honesty.
Yeah, but no, we try to like have certain people like come like up with give us their inputs, and like we like constructive criticism is always like welcomed.
There you go. And the final question I wanted to ask you is coming from Denmark. You know, a lot of people would think, you know, you're near Sweden, you're near Norway. Denmark is like a metal capital. Is there like a great metal scene, especially for your style, or do you prefer to like go outside of like your state more to get Cabal's name out there?
The thing is like the metal scene is Denmark like for core bands, which is like kind of where we fall into. It's fucking terrible. Like, yeah, there's like there used to be a cool scene and then kind of died out, but it seems to be on the rise. But it's more like metal, you know, like kind of the classic stuff that's popular there. We have this thing called Copenhagen, which is like it's actually like the fourth biggest festival in all of Denmark now, and it's a metal festival. We played there last year, and for some reason, like even though like a lot of core bands are having like a hard time in Denmark, like the metal crowd likes us. I think it might be because like the dark imagery and stuff. So we're actually like doing pretty well in Denmark now, contrary to what we thought when we started the band. I thought no one in our like home country would like us.
But I'd imagine, like, I mean, you're near Sweden, you're near Denmark, and, I heard Germany has a great metal scene.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine going to, like, your neighbors you kind of explore a little bit more outside, right?
Yeah. It's like Germany has so many like great festivals, and like Sweden, Norway too. Is like for some reason it's just like Denmark that's kind of lame when it comes to metal.
Oh, really?
Or especially like newer metal, like the classic metal does really well in Denmark.
Okay, so, like, if a band like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden plays there, it's great.
Yeah, they'll sell out like the biggest venues.
Okay. But, like, maybe, like, a newer band, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, there's like you'll see a lot of bands who play to like 3,000 people. Other places like in Germany and Sweden and all that come to Denmark, play to a few hundred people.
Wow.
I think it was like actually, I think it was Muir who played. I think it was like Frankie Palmieri having like a hissy fit because there was like only 80 people coming out to the show in Copenhagen.
And when they played here last year, he sold out like a 600 cap venue. So
Yeah.
that's unique.
Yeah, and Denmark is a weird country. Like some bands just like fly under the radar, even though they're like exploding like everywhere else. So I've seen bands, which is also kind of sometimes you get to see like big bands in really really intimate venues, which it can be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it must also be kind of like hard going on tour, playing in front of 1,000 people every night, coming to Denmark, playing in front of 50 people.
Adds variety.
Yeah.
So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for your time today. Drag Me Down's coming out April 3rd, you said. Is there just anything else with Cabal you would like to promote that you're allowed to talk about, of course?
There'll be like a few other singles coming out, and I don't know actually. Like I think the album is the main focus now. We have like a lot of Danish shows lined up, and hopefully we'll do some European tours as well. And hopefully we'll come back to the States like before our fucking visas run. Visas? What's it called? Visas, yeah. Before those run out, because those were a pain to get.
Yeah.
And expensive.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Andreas. Everybody, Andreas of Cabal, Drag Me Down, out April 3rd. Be on the lookout for that and catch them on the tour with Ingested and Last 10 Seconds of Life. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.